Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Manning Field. And I still get queasy when I say it. For Greater Boston League Boys Soccer, like Classical. Newly into the Greater Boston League, they played that shortened season last year, taking on Everett. Everett, a few years ago, were in the Northeastern Conference with the exception of their football team. The entire GBL came into the Northeastern Conference, and then they quickly moved out, went back to the GBL. Revere stayed in the Northeastern Conference, but now Revere, along with English and Classical, with English and Classical, have gone to the GBL. Sean Sheik is in net for Everett. Isaiah Diaz for Classical. Everett's undefeated, 4-0-1. Classical 1-3-1, looking for their second win. Line shot. They made the save, left the rebound, but there was nobody there to go get it. Pedro Blas, the head coach for Everett. Eric Moreno. I have to say Eric Moreno Jr. He is senior as the coach of Lynn Tech. They knock it to the net. Hustling back on defense. Classical knocks it out. That was Ryan Dunn, I think, with the defensive play. And right off the bat, we got a corner kick coming for Everett from the near side. Out in front, they got a head on it, knocked it over the net. You can't believe it. He was wide open out in front, and he went hard with his head and knocked it over the net. Everett broke it up, but he knocked it back to the Everett end. I think that was Tysinger Alcin who got his head on that corner kick. Another corner kick, this one coming from the far side. And we just did the first game, English girls against Somerville girls, and the sun was not a factor at all. And now, if you look to the left, you can't see a thing because you're blinded. Loose ball, Classical deflects it away. Everett taking the shot. Diaz plays it on a hop. I think that was Dan Cadet who ripped that one. It goes into the Classical bench area. Everett will get the throw in. The Crimson Tide against the Rams. The Tide football team will be here this week here at Main Field taking on the English Bulldogs. And I think that the girls' soccer team will be here tomorrow. Hustling back and knocking it away was Halimi. It was bouncing to the net. Everett dominating these early moments, keeping it in the classical end, having a couple of corner kicks. Knocked away. Everett will let it go out of play. Luis Ramirez puts it in play. Glasgow breaks it up. Everett keeps it in. Broken up by Halimi. He gets a foot on it again. Glasgow knocks it away. Glasgow right now on back on the heels, just trying to keep Everett away from the net. They can't get the ball upfield. And Everett's going to get another corner kick. I'm not sure what they're doing. I thought it was a corner kick. They must have had some kind of contact because they're giving Everett a free kick from just outside the 10-yard line at a little bit of an angle on the far side. I don't know what caused that. The ball went out of play. I thought they were going to get a corner kick. Instead, they must have called contact because Everett's getting a kick. They drill it into the back of the net. So they had an opportunity to get on top. It goes behind the net. We played not quite 8 minutes, and we're going to get a timeout down the field. Out of the timeout, Everett coming right back. They walking in. They throw it across, and it goes in. It was already in when they touched it. They got a break from a very tough angle. They threw it right in. Everett made sure it stayed in. Get the number. Kid way over on the 50-yard line, all by himself running downfield. Furthest kid away on the 35-yard line. Right there, yeah. He's going over in front of the net. Shot goes wide, out of play.
9.
Tysinger Alston, he's the one that came close the last time. All that pressure finally pays off as Everett gets on the board. And Everett kicks it out. I think this might be the first time the Classical is going to get across the 50-yard line. The ball's been virtually in the Classical end for the first 10 minutes. ball got knocked out. They have to get back a ball and get back in play. Everett heads it out. That's a funny number one. It almost looks like a number 7, but on Classical's back, but it's number 1, and that's Ryan Dunn. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they just did a straight up and down 1. They put that little flag at the top that makes it look like it's a 7, but they don't have a 7 on their roster. Everett takes it away. Hustling back, Halimi with a nice defensive play. Everett can't get around Dunn. He takes it away. Down deep. Everett trying to throw it in front. They tip it. It's cleared away. Everett knocks it right back in the Classical end. Bodies go down. 2 Classical players go down. Oh, Classical will get a free kick. Halimi will kick away. He's got a leg and a half. And he just showed it again. He booted that very deep. It gets headed by Everett back towards the net. Popped up, and it goes out of play. Haskell breaks it up. Everett gets it back. Pass too far. Everett takes it away. And they tip it ahead, but Classical gets back and knocks it away. Pick that pass off. They knock it deep. Everett with a break. They had to chase it down the far side. Bodies go down. He gets back up, and Everett winds up with it. Throws it out in front, headed away by Classical. Everett winds up with it. Shot from long range, goes wide left. Everett dominating here in the early going. They lead it 1-0. Classical really hasn't been inside the Everett 20-yard line yet. So they haven't come close to getting a shot on net. And Everett coming right back. Tipped ahead. They knock it back. Everett getting everybody involved. Classical steps in and knocks it away. They knock it up in the seats. Headed out by Everett. We got about another maybe 5 or 10 minutes before that sun finally sets under those trees over at Pine Grove Cemetery. Haskell looking for the pass. They go down. Everett takes it away. They knock it deep. Everett breaks it up and knocks it back the other way. And they're going to knock it out. Oh, Classical saved it. I thought for sure that was going into the Everett bench. They knock it deep. Dunn breaks it up. They knock it away. Almost a break. Halimi just broke that up. Two Everett players right there. One of them was Alcine that got the first goal. If Halimi doesn't make that play, they're going to have two guys walking in on Diaz. Shot got blocked. Deepest penetration for Glasgow. Gets popped up in the air. And the goaltender, Sean Sheik, tipped it to himself and cleared it away. And it's back at the Glasgow end. They knock it deep. Headed away by Everett. Bodies go down, they let him play. Now a late whistle, they call it. They got the ball back, they took a couple of dribbles, then they blew the whistle for the contact. They didn't call it right away, but then they called it. Halimi, he can reach the net from here. Headed away by Everett. Dunn took it away, kept it in play. Everett's pass is blocked. Everett gets it back. And Glasgow takes it away. They knock it deep. And Everett will knock it out of play. Play stops for substitutions. And it gets knocked out. They knock it deep. Everett looking for it. Blocked nicely. It's Halimi with another defensive play. Diaz scoops it up. And he throws it upfield. Bodies go down. Again, a little bit of a late whistle, but they call it. Glasgow will get the free kick. Glasgow's down deep, trying to throw it in front. Everett knocks it out. Dunn will put it in play. Pop straight up in the air. And Sheik gets it, and he'll kick it away. Knocked out by Glasgow. Everett will make a change. Sun is just about going, so we can actually look to our left. Glasgow's going to get called for a takedown. Everett will kick it away. They get it very quickly in play. Classical knocks it out. Just about in front of the Classical bench, they put it in play. Everett pretty crisp with their passing. And their ball hand, they're walking in, he tipped to the head, looking to walk in. He knocked it over the net. Diaz might have caused that. He came all the way out, he came running right at, they made a couple of great passes. They were down deep with a good shot for a goal. Diaz came all the way out, and I think he forced them to take that shot. And he knocked it, trying to knock it, instead of knocking it by, he tried to knock it over. Diaz, he knocked it over the net. I think that was Alcine again. Everett knocks it out. Just past the halfway mark of this first half. 1-0 Everett. Everett trying to get it going, Classical. Double team and they knock it away, but they can't go get it. Looked like they might have a break, but the defense was there to break it up and knock it away. They knock it deep. I think they knocked it too deep. It's going to go out of play. Diaz will kick it away. It goes off Everett, out of play. Looking for the shot, didn't take it, and he tried to go around the defense, and they took him down, and he's down. He's going to get up. Classical with an opportunity from the 15-yard line. Halimi's going to take the kick. I think that was Danny Lopez with the rush. He didn't take the kick. He tried to go around one more defender, but they knocked him down. Halimi drills it and knocks it home. He started out to the far left and hooked back and just hooked inside the far post under the top crossbar. A perfect kick by Eldon Halimi. Told you, he's got a leg and a half. That looked like it was going to go wide to the left side and just hooked back nicely under the top crossbar into the back of the net. Done, let it go by. It didn't go out. He scooped it up. So that rush by Danny Lopez kind of paid off. He didn't take the shot when he could have, but he wound up getting knocked down, and that gave Halimi the opportunity, and he jumped all over it. So we're right back where we started, dead even. Even though Everett has been virtually dominating most of this first half. Let's see if that gives Classical a little pick-me-up. They made the pass, but then there was contact, I think, after the pass. I think they're going to give Classical a free kick. And that will be Halimi again. And he can certainly get it to the net from here. Not quite in front of the Everett bench. Everybody out in front of the net, waiting, move to the net. Halimi will let it fly. Drills it, Everett heads it away. They knock it deep. They missed the header, but when they missed it, Everett was behind the defense, and that put them offside. Where it was rather bright when we started, it's darkened up a little bit because the lights really haven't taken effect yet, because the sun has gone down, but it's not really that dark here. Out in front, and they tip it home. Everett tried to tip it away. Everett tried to tip it away. And I think it was Danny Lopez who was right there. Now they're saying wasn't him, they're saying it was number 14, Immer Pays. Everett was out in front of the net. They looked to head it away and get it out of harm's way. Instead, they tipped it over their head, and then Pays was there to head it in. So Classical scored 2 in a row to take a 2-1 lead. The pass inside, and they knock it into the far net. Great pass. They went through a couple of defenders. They got the pass. Diaz came out to hold the near post. They kicked it inside the far post. And that momentum the Classical had was just taken away. Claudio Mema made the great pass.
Yep.
Is that 9 or 8? Oscar's got another free kick. Here comes Halimi again. Big time save. Roberto Racinos is getting credit for that second goal that ties it up. Corner kick coming from the far side. So back and forth we go. Popped up in the air, headed away by Everett. Klasko tried to get a shot. Everett blocked it. Everett trying to clear it. Klasko still trying to get it. Nobody can gain control of it. Klasko finally gets it. They can't get the shot off. They have to drop it all the way back to Dunn. Down the near side. Ventura was trying to center it. It got blocked and knocked out by Everett. Dunn pass picked off. Broken up by Roberto Gomez. Klasko now, Donna. It was all Everett for a while. Now Klasko is keeping it in the Everett end. Out off Everett. They tip it to the middle. Everett breaks it up. Dunn knocks it ahead. It goes out off Dunn. So the sun is completely gone now. So we don't get blinded looking to our left. Klasko coming back. Everett breaks it up. They knock it deep to the far side. They have to regroup. Down that far side, Everett stops. Trying to walk in, still with it. Everett pops it up toward the net, and he can't get a foot on it. Everett takes the shot, got blocked out in front. Klasko clears it away. It goes off Everett, out of play. Popped up field, headed away by Everett. Knocked deep by the Rams and out of play. And with just 8 minutes showing on the clock, we're going to get another timeout. Back out of the timeout. Everett will get the throw in. So it was all Everett for quite a bit of this first half. And then all of a sudden, Halimi got a goal to get Klasko back in it. And now they've been virtually even as far as territorial the last half of this first half. And it shows on the board because we're now tied at 2. Everett gave away the tying goal. Halimi blocked it. Everett kicks that one to the baseball field over at Fraser. That went high. That was, as soon as he touched it, it was gone out of play. Diaz will kick it away. I don't know what's going on at Fraser Field. Right behind home plate, about halfway up the grandstand, it looks like 2 automobiles parked in front because there's 4 lights, and they have a bunch of people. Oh, Klasko got a push. Klasko just pushed the Everett player down. And they had a group on the pitcher's mound doing interviews. They got a little tent, like over where the third base coach would be. And the cameras are doing some kind of interview. And I spoke to the DPW guy, and he said, we're not allowed to say it's confidential. And I thought he said that they had the DPW people on waivers. Saying that they wouldn't let out what's going on over there. It's very confidential. I have no idea what that is. They told me it doesn't involve the navigators, doesn't involve maintenance of the field. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if we'll ever know what it is. Haskell knocks it upfield, trying to keep it in. Everett knocks it out. Now they're calling it off Classical. Everett knocks it deep. Halimi knocks it away. Everett missed, but Everett collects the miss. And they knock it deep down the far side. And here's Halimi again with a nice defensive play, knocking it away. Everett takes it back. Down that far side. They pushed it ahead. Everett went down, but there was no whistle. That was right in front of the official. Everett keeping it in. Haskell knocks it away. Everett knocks it back. Headed up. Bouncing around. Everett trying to get control. Two Classical players took themselves out of the play. Everett got the ball, but they couldn't do anything with it. Now it gets blocked. Classical can't save it. Good effort by Pace to try and keep it in. I must be getting old. I really hear bells. Classical will put it in play after we have a substitution. Everett knocks it out again. Classical tips it. Looking to push it ahead. Classical trying to walk in. The shot went wide. He had to hurry the shot. They passed it ahead. They had an opportunity. They had to reach for it. Didn't get a great shot, but just missed putting that one in.
Along with the white jersey.
We're in the final 2 minutes. Halimi's going to get another kick. gets it up. Glasgow got a head on it, and it went out of play.
Is it the blanket? The blanket. That's in. The class is in. Yep, along by himself. Running, right? The one that's running, okay. Down, 13.
Trying to get the number. I think they just blew the whistle for the end of the half. That last shot where Glasgow was reaching, I think it was Fazil Askaplu. Try to say that 5 times fast. That just missed. He had to reach for it, got a foot on it, just tipped it wide. So Everett got on top first. Glasgow tied it up on a goal by Halimi. A second goal by Everett gave them a 2-1 lead, and then Glasgow tied it up at 2 apiece. So we started even, and we're even now. It's Lynn Glasgow 2, Everett 2 at halftime. You might have heard me talking with the official scorer. He was going to give the second goal that Glasgow got. He was going to give it to Everett as an own goal, but it was at the last second. It was the Glasgow young man, Emmer Payas, who got the head on it and knocked it in. So now we've reduced this game to a half. We started even. We finished even. Everett takes Glasgow down. Glasgow will get a free kick. It was all Everett through quite a bit of that first half. And then all of a sudden, a goal by Halimi kind of perked Glasgow up a bit, even though Everett came right back and got a second goal to take the lead back at 2-1. But Glasgow, when they couldn't do anything in the first half, couldn't get the ball out of their own end, now they're getting shots. That shot by Roberto Gomez just went wide left. And he picked it up considerably. And then Everett made the big error, trying to head the ball away from their own net. Instead, they popped it up toward the net, and Payas was able to get his head on it and punch it in. So that's where we are, 2-2, as we start the second half. We mentioned Everett is 4-0-1. Glasgow 1-3-1. Coach Moreno said he's happy with the way his group has played the last couple of games. They're coming on. Sort of a rebuilding year for Glasgow. Everett slipped and fell. Scoreboard says 2-1. I don't know why they didn't give out the second goal by Roberto Racinos right after Glasgow scored. They came right back and got the lead back with that goal. From long range, they left the rebound. They put it right in the middle of the net. It bounced off the goaltender Sheik. Alvarez with that good hard shot. They left the rebound, but there was nobody there to take advantage, and now Everett kicks it out of play. I don't know how they didn't give the second goal to Everett. They knocked it in right after Glasgow got their goal to tie it. We finally realized what that, I don't know if you could hear it through the microphone, what that ringing noise was. It was one of the young ladies in the stands misplaced her cell phone. It was up here in the press box, and they were calling it to try and find out where it was. And we finally got it back to her at halftime. She was happy, and we're happy because the ringing stopped. I couldn't understand what it was. Knocked out by Glasgow. I still don't understand why they didn't give him the second goal. Glasgow got taken down, no call. They clear it away. Everett will track it down. So I had to score it 2-2. I guess they're saying no. Everett gets there first, steps in front, winds up with it, but they have to push it back. They keep it alive, but they took it a long way away from the net. Now Glasgow breaks it up and knocks it out. Everett quickly puts it in play. Down the far side. Pass gets deflected by Everett out of play. Diaz will get to kick it away. I just found out some good news for Glasgow. I didn't know it. I was watching that pretty pass from Everett. That great pass that sent Roberto Rosinos in alone. He beat Diaz to the near post. I thought made it 2-2. I found out now they called him offside. So it's 2-1 Glasgow. Free kick coming. Halimi can certainly reach the net from here. Gets it high in the air. It bounces and it went in the net. Halimi threw it up. Everybody went up to get it. It bounced in front of the net. It went over everybody's head and it went in. He's got his second goal. And Glasgow leads it 3-1. He's got a great leg. He put that right on the money out in front. It bounced, and when it bounced, everybody, the goalie went up to try and catch it. The white shirts went up to try and head it away. Everybody missed it, and it went in the net. And Halimi's got his second goal. From very long range. That's about a 45-yard kick from an angle. And all of a sudden, Glasgow, that was back on their heels early on and Everett dominating play and taking a 1-0 lead, have now scored 3 in a row. And Everett has to play catch-up. Halimi back there, he's got a leg as good as anybody. He drilled a free kick for a goal. Now he a little bit closer. And he drilled this one. 45 yards. He kicked it from the 35-yard line, but then there's 10 yards in the end zone. Big hop, went over everybody and wound up in the net. Everett couldn't believe it. So Everett, trying to stay undefeated, has got to dig themselves out of a pretty good-sized hole. They go deep. Glasgow knocks it out. Popped up. Everett getting control. Picked off. That was Halimi doing the defense that time. Gets it down the offensive end, gets it down the defensive end. Couple of nice little shifts. I think that was Danny Lopez, who beat a couple, but he had too many to beat, and he was all by himself. Everett coming back. And we got a whistle. Contact, free kick. Everett puts it very quickly in play. Coming to the near side. Trying to go down deep. Kicking it to the net. Diaz comes out, gets a piece of it. It got knocked away from him. There was a white shirt waiting to knock it in. And I think that was Halimi on defense knocking it away. He's doing it at both ends. That one rolled right by. They threw the pass over. I think Glasgow kind of blocked the vision and went right by the intended receiver and out of play. Glasgow tried to kick it out. Everett kept it in. He knocked it to the near side. He gets knocked away. Glasgow collects. They knock it deep. Down the far side. They throw it to the net. Just went too far. They couldn't get there. A Skuplu was bearing down all by himself, the near side and the pass, just too far ahead, went too far, almost behind the net. Tough angle, he took it away. Now Everett goes back. Glasgow's defense breaks it up. And Everett's going to change goaltenders. Dominic Reyes is now in net. And I think, instead of that, I think it's Javier Oliver that's in net. They just added him to the roster. So 3-1 Glasgow. 3 unanswered goals after Everett took a 1-0 lead. Everett keeping the ball in the Glasgow end, but not getting any closer. Everett pushed it too far ahead. Glasgow will boot it away. Glasgow lost it off his foot, attempting to make a pass. Everett easily getting into the Glasgow end, but they're not getting any shots. Out off Everett. With just over 25 minutes left, we're going to get another timeout. Out of the timeout. I mentioned it'll be almost like Everett week this week at Main Field. It'll almost be like Everett's home field. The boys' soccer team is here today. I believe the girls' soccer team is here tomorrow. And the football team is here Friday. Haskell heads it to the middle, heads it away. Knock loose. They knock it down the far side. Trying to knock it in. Everett got a head on it. They pop it up and went over the net. They got a shot off, but they got too much foot in it and popped it and went over the net. I think that was Alvarez with the shot. Well, Glasgow's doing a heck of a lot more than they did. They couldn't do a thing in the early going of the first half, but they've certainly picked it up since then. And with Eldon Halimi leading the way, they've grabbed a 3-1 lead. Free kick coming from the far side, right about the 35-yard line. Out in front, Glasgow boots it away. Now they boot it further away. Good hard work. That was Brian Giovanni Rivas Lazo. Now the classical player goes down. He's getting back up. They go deep. The defense breaks it up. Classical will get the throw in. Popped up and out by Everett. And knocked out again. Classical moving down. Just beyond their own bench area, they get the ball in. Classical deflected to Everett. Everett knocks it out again. Trying to center it, they knock it off Everett. That'll give Classical a corner kick. Coming from the far side. Everybody picking a partner out in front. They get it up. Everett heads it away. Classical picked it off, but it was behind them. They couldn't control. Now they tip it ahead. Out near midfield. Everett trying to get it going. They can't. Classical breaks it up. And Classical knocks it away. Blocked by Everett. Blocked by Everett again. They kind of half-heartedly kicked that. Now they get it to Viveros. Trying to go down the near side. Everett gets there first. Blocked nicely. Nice job by Sarmento. And it went out, I think. Sarmento thought it went. I guess they're calling Sarmento for contact. Because Everett's going to get a free kick. They line drive it, they tip it, and they knock it away. And it gets knocked out. Knocked out by Rivas Lazo. We'll get a substitution for Everett. Just past the halfway mark of the second half. Classical in the driver's seat, leading 3-1. Loose ball, knocked away. Good defense. I think that's done. Done. Viveros, Halimi, all the three back on deep on defense have played very well after that first goal by Everett. All that pressure put on. Everett got tangled up. Classical took them down. They'll get a free kick. Just inside the 20. From a little bit of an angle. They line drive it. They got a piece of it. Diaz made the save. It got out in front. Everett got a head on it. I wish I could read those numbers on the back of the Everett shirts. That was almost for Everett. They got a head on it, but they tipped it wide left. I think it was Claudio Mema. Haskell kicks it ahead. Everett will collect. He almost gave it away. They're a little nonchalant on that pass. He almost gave Classical a breakaway. Riveros just gets there ahead of Everett. Sarmiento and Riveros playing catch. They lob it up. Classical's there. Got a foot on it. Roberto Gomez got a foot on it. Haskell now keeping the Everett end. As they knock it out now. Everett keeps it in. Looked like it was going out. Everett kept it in. They still have it. Trying to line up a shot. It got blocked, popped up in the air. Diaz will make the play. Again, the defense coming through. They made a nice little pivot to get to the left-footed shot. And before they could get it off, Classical got a piece of it. It popped straight up. Diaz able to make the catch. And Classical's out of harm's way. Rivas Lazo will put it in play. And it's not him, it's Faveros. Broken up by Gomez. That's Roberto, because there's two of them. Well, we got a Classical player down. He's trying to get up, didn't. Now they're helping him up. Hey, I'm gonna help him up. Looks like he's okay. He's gingerly walking. Now he's walking on his own. He'll help from his teammate, the other Gomez, Jose. So there's Rivas Lazo going to the sideline. Faveros will put it in play. Knocked away, and Classical got knocked down with no call. Faveros pushes it ahead and pushed it too far. That's cup blue, and I hope I'm saying that somewhat close. Couldn't get it, was pushed too far ahead. Headed away by Classical. Classical knocks it back again. Everett knocks it deep. There's a foot race. Diaz comes flying out, cut down the angle. and they knocked it over the net. Everett was looking to get there first. Diaz came flying out to get there. Everett had a golden opportunity to get back in the game, and he missed the net. Classical looking for a break. They take Classical down, no call. Everett player took him down. The Everett player is still down. They blow the whistle. It was the Everett player that took the Classical player down. They both went down, no call. They let it go. And now the trainer out to check on the Everett player. There's just over 13 minutes left. What a wild night here Saturday night. Just about at this time on the scoreboard clock, the lights here at Manning Field went out. They forgot to reset the timer. So they're really favoring that right foot. They're not putting it down at all, hopping off. And let's hope the young man's going to be okay. Getting help to his bench. Everett looked like they were going to dominate this game in the early part of the first half. Classical couldn't get it out of their own end. Everett got the first goal, leading 1-0. They spent most of the first half in the Classical end. Classical finally got a free kick, and it paid off. They knocked it right to the net, and it just sailed over the net. Good try by Viveros. Halimi drilled that free kick just inside the far post. Tied the game up. And then Everett made a huge mistake. They were ball bouncing around out in front of the net. Everett tried to head it away. Instead, they headed it back toward the net, and stepping in was Emer Payas, who just got his head on the ball and knocked it in the open net after it went by the goaltender. Made it 2-1. I thought right after they made it 2-1, I thought Everett got a great passing game and set up Roberto Racinos, who banged it inside the near post, beat Diaz. I thought it was 2-2, but they were ruled offside. It stayed 2-1. And then Halimi again with a huge kick from outside the 35-yard line, a free kick. He drilled it high in the air. It bounced right in front of the goaltender. When he went up to get it, he and his defense came up short. It bounced over everybody's head and went into the back of the net. A little too much one-on-one there for Everett. It got taken away and drilled deep by Classical. Everett looking to go get it. Walking around. Tough angle, had no chance to get it on net. Pushed it behind the net, out of play. This would be a very big win for Classical. If this score holds up, Everett will lose for the first time. Closest they've come is a tie. I don't know who they tied, but they're 4-0-1. Classical will get a little closer to 500 if they could win this one. They'd go to 2-3-1. They pop it up. Diaz goes up and plays the hop. I think they ruled Everett offside. Diaz will kick it away. 10 minutes and counting left in this one. Oh, hear me again. Boots it very deep. Classical had it. Everett took it away. Classical breaks it up. Everett coming back. Headed away nicely. Halimi and Dunn, Viveros, Roberto Gomez. Gomez have played very well back defensively. Besides that, Halimi got 2 free kicks that knocked both of them in the net. One from very long range. Classical keeping it in the Everett end, which is where they'd like to have it, with a 2-goal lead. It rolls by. Classical just got a piece. Everett player went down. He's still down. I think that was Halimi again. He just went underneath, got the ball, knocked it away, and the Everett player went down. And he's still down. Now he's up. We're back in action. Classical kicks it away. The clock is now the enemy of Everett as they're down 2 goals. Classical just content to knock it away. If they can keep Everett off the board, they don't need any more goals. Broken up, defense steps in. They've done a very nice job. Trying to walk around. Classical picks it off. And it's Halimi again. And got knocked away from behind. Everett looking to come back and actually hit a Classical player off the back as he was turned around. And you have to go back and get it. And it goes out off Everett. Popped up, headed away by Classical, headed again. Everett trying to control. Everett's got to find a way to get a goal to make the last few minutes important. Everett will get a free kick. And we'll get a substitution first. Coming up on 6 minutes and counting left to play from just outside the 25-yard line, the free kick. They boot it to the left of the net. Diaz will play it. He likes to catch it, go down on his knees and smother the ball like he's laying on a fumble. Let everybody go by and then he'll kick it away. Boots it deep. Bounces off. Classical knocks it deep. This is where they want it. They knock it deep again. They come out of the net. Dominic Reyes came way out of the net and almost gave that one away. Haskaplu was bearing down on him, and it got tipped beyond the end line, and Everett kicks it away, but, well, they almost gave one away there. They came out very far from the net. Classical again, keeping it in the Everett end. They knock it to the net. It's loose, but it goes by the net. The goaltender dropped it. Reyes had it, lost it, but Everett got a break because it rolled by the net at a tough angle and finally went out of play. Glasgow knocks it off. Everett out of play. Glasgow doing exactly what they have to do. That long free kick by Amelia has given them a little bit of breathing room. Made it a 2-goal game. And Everett doing all they can to try and get it upfield, but they're not playing the way they played the first half of the game. Crisp passing, getting shots. They haven't got a lot of shots on net because they're hurrying to try and beat the clock and get back in this game. And once again, it's back at the Everett end. Skips past Classical. Pops straight up. Everett heads it away. Classical heads it back. Classical knocks it deep. Bounces off. Again, they have it where they want it, down at the Everett end. Cupping on 3 minutes left. Everett winds up with it on the far side. Classical breaks it up. The defense again. Knocked out by Everett. Classical will get it in the Everett end again. Closer and closer to a Classical Ram upset. Skip past everybody. Classical takes it away. Just keeping it right there, running some clock off. Doing a nice job. Everett took it away. They have to go back deep. They knock it very deep. Diaz will come up, and here he is, falling down again, recovering the fumble, staying on the turf. We're in the final 2 minutes. They blow the whistle for some reason. I'm not sure why. I don't know what that was for. I didn't see any subs. Diaz kicked it deep, but now they're going to have a do-over. So Diaz will get to kick it away. Closing moments of this one. Coach Moreno has to be very happy about the way his kids have played. Bodies go down right in front of the official, no call. Glasgow keeping it away. Viveros knocks it up. Askaplu knocks it away. And Everett is not going to be undefeated after this one. They push it too far. They had a guy breaking on the near side. They threw it across. It went right by everybody, and Classical breaks it up. It's been all Classical in the second half. It was all Everett early on in the first half, for most of the first half. It ended up Classical 2-1 after they scored 2 goals. One on a free kick by Halimi, the other on a mistake by Everett trying to clear it. Popped it to the net instead of away from the net. And we're saying that it was Amur Payas that knocked it in, and now they blow the whistle, and Glasgow's going to win the game. So it looked like Everett was dominating in the early part of the first half. They scored the goal by Tessinger Alcin. They were leading 1-0. Glasgow gets a free kick. Halimi hits a blister just inside the far post, just beating the goaltender, Sheik. That made it 1-1. And then that big mistake by Everett, the ball bouncing in the air. They tried to get a head on the ball. Instead of heading it away, they headed it to the net, and it got headed in. They tried to head it away. They headed it to the net, and Payas just got a touch with his head and knocked it in, made it 2-1 at halftime. And then from the 35-yard line, going right to left on your screen, Halimi with a booming kick, put it way up in the air. It took a high hop, bounced over the defense, bounced over the goaltender, went into the back of the net for his second goal. Glasgow had a 3-1 lead, and they dominated the second half, keeping Everett away from Diaz, especially the defense. Halimi and Dunn and Roberto Gomez along with Alvarez, they just played outstanding on that back line and kept Everett away virtually the entire second half. And that was it. After that first goal by Everett, it was all Glasgow, and they win it by a score of 3-1. They'll go to 2-3-1. Everett will lose for the first time. They go to 4-1-1. So 3-1, Glasgow over Everett. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Don Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.